Good morning from Finland and welcome to some Mario 3 gaming. A perfect time to play some Mario, 7:40 a.m. So without further ado, let's go straight into the game. And the timer starts when I press start in the title screen, so let's go. So this is Mario 3, probably. Everyone knows the game. And the speedruns of this game, in a nutshell, is that we try to get the P speed, which is the fastest moving speed in this game. So we try to get it as fast as we can and then run to the end of the level. So pretty straightforward, the first two levels. We get the P speed there, and then we just run. That's what we try to do in every level. Obviously, it's not possible in every one, so we have to do something else. For example, the next fort, which I'm going to play. I'm not going to play 3 and 4, since this category is any percent warpless. So we don't need to play every single level. We just need to complete all the worlds and beat Bowser, but not play every single level. And you might be wondering, why did I get the warp whistle now, even though I cannot use it? Well, it just happens to be the fastest way to beat the level, to get the whistle, but now it's just there. I cannot use it in the whole run. And now a little trick here called MFP tunnel. There was a very precise turn back in the air, so that we could clear the narrow path very quickly. And 1-6, another really straightforward level. Nothing special here. That's about it for World 1. Only thing is left is the Hammer Bro and then a castle. And since I took the Hammer Bro in this specific tile, I can get the Fire Flower here, which helps in the boss fight. And Mario 3 is filled with auto-scrollers. There is one in every single world, in the end of the world. There are these airships, and we have to beat all of these. There's no way around these. Of course, if the category was something else, we could use the warp whistles to go to the next world, but in warpless we cannot do that. So we have to wait for all these auto-scrollers until we get to the boss, which in World 1 is Larry Koopa. And the fastest way to kill all the Koopalings is Fire Flower and Fireballs. They take 10 hits to kill, and I'm trying to get it pretty fast here. And that's about it. So there are two ways to kill the bosses. The regular way, which probably everyone has done, is by stomping on top of their heads 3 times. But obviously fireballs are very much faster, and we try to do that in almost every one of them. And so this category is, like I said, this is warpless, and I'm currently sitting at 4th place worldwide in this category. But most likely we are not going to see a time that is close to my PB or world record, since the game is filled with RNG, and the first bigger one RNG factor is right here in the second world, there is something called an early hammer, which is that one of the hammer bros in World 2 is carrying the hammer item, which can break rocks in overworld. And for world record runs, we have something called early hammer manipulation, so that we can manipulate the RNG to give us the movements we want. But that's not marathon safe at all, so I can't really use it. So most likely I won't get the early hammer. The probability for that is less than 1%, so it's extremely unlikely to get it. So we just have to skip it and play the game normally, which comparing against world record loses like 40 seconds, so that's really big, that's huge. And right now I can already see that I am not getting it. So right now, if I had gotten the manipulation and got the hammer bros here, I would have skipped this level and the next two ones. So that there is the rock in the overworld right below this level. You can see it right now. So I could have broken that and go straight to the pyramid, but I cannot do it right now. And that hammer bro is the wrong one. I didn't want that one. It's the other one I'm looking for. And we can tell which hammer bro is which by looking at when the music starts in the overworld, they always start looking at the specific way. Like this one. This guy looks left when the music starts, and so that we know this is the hammer. But this doesn't help us right now in the second world. We are going to use the hammer later, which is not the fastest way, but this is the so-called normal way of playing these runs without the early hammer. But for world record times you need the early hammer, and you pretty much have to do the manipulation. You will never get so lucky often enough to be able to get world record, so you have to do the manipulation. So this is one of the more technical levels, the pyramid. You have to break these walls to get through. And that was pretty good. And that's it for World 2. Now we are going to go to the castle and see another auto-scroller airship. There's 2 frames in the beginning of this cutscene that you can do a jump, and I got it when you see Mario is in the air. That's not normal, but that's just a silly thing we do when we enter the cutscene. Doesn't save any time or doesn't make any difference at all, so it's just fun thing to do. And now we are waiting for the second boss, and the bosses have different patterns that they can do. They can jump, they can shoot, but we can know what they do based on what happened after the last level we beat. So the last level was the pyramid, and then we heard the hammer bros doing one movement. So that way I can know exactly what the boss is going to do, so that I'm shooting my fireballs in a very specific way to kill it. Let's see if I can get it. Like that. So the boss, oops. I didn't mean to split. That's the muscle memory. Let me do undo split. Nice muscle memory. Yeah, all good. So what I was going to say is that the boss pattern is determined by the time that passes between beating the last level and entering the pipe, which is we can almost certainly know the patterns every time, since there isn't much of a difference in between the time, since the airship is an auto-scroller. Life split shot's a good tool. That's true. That always happens when running without the splits, trying to split in a very specific spot. So now one of the more technical levels is here. You saw that I was waiting for a bit in the beginning of the level. I had to do that to wait for the moving platforms to be able to build the P-speed there, since there is so little space in the beginning. So that's one of the tougher levels in the whole game, actually. And in World 3 there is something called Ronnie the Runaway, which is one of the Hammer Bros. Ideally we want to fight both Hammer Bros in this world before 3-6, but sometimes one of them can go to the right past that level, and that's really bad if that happens. So let's see, it's right on the spot there, but before that I'm going to try a one frame trick called door 3. I didn't get it. There's a one frame after coming out of that door. I'm gonna try it one more time. Come on. Well, I'm just going to play it normally. So coming out of that door, there's one single frame that you can press up again to go back to that door. And what happens is I skip these stairs and go straight here. So that saves like 4 seconds. But losing it, not getting it loses like 7 seconds, so it's really not worth it. And now the Ronnie actually happened. So he ran away, which is really bad. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to skip them both. And you can see why in a sec. There is these bridges in World 3 that alternate between beating the levels. Yeah, he's gone. Now the bridge is there, so I am using the cloud and going straight to this level. 3-6 is an auto-scroller again, so we don't want to play it. But we need to be on a specific cycle with the bridges to be able to do that. So our options are fighting both of the Hammer Bros or skipping them both. And usually we want to fight them both because one of them is carrying a hammer item, which is a really useful item in the next world. But now that I skipped them both, I have to play an extra level in World 4. So I'm losing a little bit of time because of that. But luckily, even though the Ronnie the Runaway actually ran away, luckily the other one was not in my way as well. So the worst case scenario would have been that that we got the runaway and then the other one is straight in front of me, so that I have to fight it. If that happens, I would have needed to take a death somewhere to fix the bridge cycle. But luckily we didn't have to do that, so we only lost like well, depending on how the extra level goes, I'm only losing like a few seconds, so not too bad. So we are waiting for the next Koopaling, which is Wendy. And she's one of them that is actually easier to kill with fireballs than stomping, because she's throwing the ring things and they are really tough to avoid. So I'm really hoping to get them killed really fast with the fireballs. That's good. That's good. So if I would have stomped on top of her, she would have thrown more of those rings, and then they are bouncing everywhere, and that's really tough to avoid those. And dying in these fights is obviously really bad, because you would have to play the long airship again, which loses like more than a minute or up to 2 minutes depending on what world we are in. So now the world 4, everyone's favorite, the giant world, where everyone is giant. Nothing special in here. In the first levels. One little thing in the beginning of this, I'm shooting this Koopa and stomping on top of him at the same time. So it's probably hard to tell if that does anything, but it despawns one of the piranha plants, which helps us to build the P-speed really fast. We are getting pretty unlucky that the Hammer Bros are going left. We would have wanted the first one to go right. Let's see what happens. Doing very specific jumps there to avoid all the enemies and go straight to the end. And now that I had to skip the bros in World 3, I don't have an extra hammer for this rock, which is here. I would break this, but I now have to play this fort, which is actually a pretty tough level. And I managed to do it perfectly. So if I play this level like this, skipping the bros only loses like 3 seconds or something like that, so that's pretty good. So now we're going top here, build the P-speed. I didn't get it, the jump was a little bit off. I took damage also there, so I had to be a bit careful now, but it's not a huge deal. I can get the fire flower back in the second fort. Fire flower is a really important item in this run, but there are some places where losing it isn't the end of the world, and this is one of them. There are much worse spots to lose the fire flower than this one, so I can just... Oh, we are getting really lucky here. We would use the music box here to skip these bros, but sometimes they can move away from you, and there is a possibility to skip them without using the music box, which actually saves a lot of time in the next world. But let's see what happens. We actually got really lucky here. This is something called boxless. which is obviously not using the music box. So this means I can adjust my route a bit in World 5. This saves optimally like 10 seconds or something. The bros were very cooperative. So what I would normally do is I would use the music box there, and then in World 5 I would try to get one of the bros and skip the other, but that's all RNG dependent. And so the even better one is to skip them both in World 4 and then use the music box in World 5, which saves me one of the hammer bro fights. That's really rare to happen as well, so that's extremely lucky to see in a marathon run. So we are on the longest auto-scroller in this game. This airship lasts around 2 minutes. So we just have to wait here and be careful not to do anything stupid during during the boring part. And then in the end there is one of the tougher Koopaling fights, I would say, Iggy Koopa. His patterns are, some of them are really aggressive and tough, and also the hitboxes in this game are pretty weird sometimes. You could take damage even if you stomp like right in the middle of some enemies. But luckily we don't have to stomp Iggy more than once, so I'm hoping him not to troll us. The pattern should be good as well, so let's see. That's perfect. So we're going to World 5 now. And as I said, I can adjust my route a bit now since I got the boxless in World 4. There are 3 hammer bros in World 5, which I only need to fight one now. Normally, I would need to fight 2 of them, but now I can skip 1 extra. So one of the toughest P-speed builds is right in the end of this level, which I'm not going to get now since I messed up. I just have to go down here and get the P-speed a little bit later, losing like a second there, nothing huge. Also one RNG factor in the run is that how the hammer bros move. So every level hammer bros, they move 1 space, but they cannot stop on top of levels or on top of each other. So if that happens, they have to move another space. And like you saw there, that was a movement of 2, because they couldn't stop on top of 5-3. And sometimes they can do something really stupid called a marathon. And that happens if 2 hammer bros stop or try to stop on top of each other. They could just keep moving until they find space to go different ways. That could last like a long time. Theoretically, it could last forever if they never, if they always decide to go the same way. So that's something that can cost a lot of time during the runs. And now we're getting to the sky section of the World 5 through this very long pipe transition. Technically this isn't a level, this is only a warp pipe transition. Now we are in the sky. Going through these spinners. The next level is one of the tougher levels to build the P-speed again. So let's see if I can get it. I need to do very specific jumps in the beginning. Got it. That's not an easy thing to do. It's just whoops, happens really fast, so it's hard to tell sometimes. But these little things are the things that make the best runners best and get closer to world record. So 5-7, another technical level, lots of jumps here and trying to get them on the spot. We're getting closer to the end of the World 5. Only 2 levels to go. We're going to use a cloud for 5-9 because that's a long level. Auto-scroller as well. So we're just going to skip it. Killing the Boom Boom with 5 fireballs. Also much faster than stomping on top of him 3 times. I'm getting movements of 2, which is okay. And if I get a movement of 2, I'm going to do a little manipulation for the boss pattern. Because the movement of 2 pattern, that's what we call it. It is really tough to kill with fireballs. So I'm going to do this. I went back 1 space and then forward again, which manipulates the pattern to be a really easy one for Roy Koopa. And airship again. Getting something called a poop block here. No, I missed it. There's something called something that in the color palette of the NES, if you hit that block on the first frames, it becomes visible. It changes color, and in this airship, it could change to a very dark brown color, and we call that poop block, which is something we try to do every time. Again, a thing that doesn't save any time or doesn't make any difference, but it's just something we do all the time. So the boss pattern should be an easy one. I don't need to stomp him at all. I can just stand here and shoot. And that's it for World 5. So the next one is the Ice World. So we can call it Finland at this point. Even though it's summer right now, so it's not that much snow in here right now, but still looking like a Finnish, typical Finnish weather here. So we use the hammer here to skip the first 2 levels. Get the hammer bro, which actually gives us another hammer, which is useful later in the world. And this is one of the rare instances where I actually want to get rid of the fire flower. It's much faster to just run through the spikes and finish the level with Small Mario. Usually we just try to keep the fire flower all the way, but this is faster, and we can kill the Boom Boom with the star actually. This is the only place in the game where we can do that. And we don't need the fire flower in the next few levels, so it's not a big deal. Trying to get the P speed here, didn't get it. Losing like 2 seconds there. The next level I'm going to play is there's some weird stuff going on, and I got really unlucky here. This is the hammer bro I didn't want to fight. This only carries a star, which I don't need at all. So that's just a time loss for me now. And for this one, I'm going to do some very specific movements in the beginning to be able to despawn one enemy. So I'm grabbing these, flying here with the block, and you can notice there's only one of these plants. Normally there's 2, and you would need to take a Koopa shell to kill them. But if you move very specifically in the beginning of the level, there's too much stuff in the screen before the plants are going to spawn, so the game only spawns one of them, which saves us a lot of time. Now I'm going to use the last hammer here to skip 6-7, which is an auto-scroller again. And we can do this with the leaf and damage boost there. Usually we don't want to keep the tail for a long time, because it's actually slower to move with the leaf. And 6-8, pretty normal level. Next one, 6-9 will be one of the harder ones. I'm going to damage boost here to be Small Mario, since I'm going to do a wall jump in 6-9, which is actually easier with Small Mario. It gives me more leeway to do it, and hopefully I can get it first try. I didn't hit the wall jump pixel. I missed it again. Come on. Oh no. This is one frame trick. There we go. The 5th first try. And now a little bit scary level, since we are Small Mario. 1 hit away from dying. So I have to be a little bit careful here, waiting for the elevator to go up. And then we have to stomp the Boom Boom 3 times, and there we go. And then airship again. And in the end of this airship, and after the boss fight, I'm going to do something called sub-pixel manipulation, which helps me in the next level, so that the game has, like the Mario's position, you can see I'm moving like a very small amounts of, this is 1 pixel when I move like that, but there is 16 smaller units of Mario's position, which are called sub-pixels. And for the first level in World 7, we have to do a wall clip going through the wall, and that only works with some specific sub-pixels. So I'm trying to get on the higher sub-pixels in the end of this, or after the boss fight, which would help me to get through the wall. And even with the correct sub-pixels, it's a frame perfect trick. So 1 frame trick. So it's pixel, frame, sub-pixel perfect. So one of the run killers for sure. So I'm doing this really small. That was a bad manipulation. I was trying to do very small taps on the controller, but I didn't really get it. So I'm not totally sure what sub-pixel I'm on, but I'm guessing I'm on a lower one right now, judging from what happened. So I'm gonna do some manipulation in the beginning of the level and hoping to get lucky. But if I don't get it first try, I can just try it again. And I need to get it, since it's much faster to go through the level with the clip. So let's see. I hit the jump, but the sub-pixel was wrong. Okay, third try. Not too bad. So the level is really long if you go through the door and through the level normally. That saves like huge amount of time. Even if I get it third try, it's still much faster. And here I'm going to build the P-speed in the beginning. Like this. Going through the gap. World 7 is the toughest world in the run for sure, and by far. There are many hard levels, starting on 7.1 with the clip, and then this one. There's also a faster way to do 7.2, but I did the safe strat there. 7.3 is an easier one. And then we are going to skip 7.4. 7.4 is the favorite level of all the speedrunners, since it's an auto-scroller and it's a water level. So swimming level auto-scroller, what could be better? For this, we're going to use a P-wing to be able to fly. And for next level, depending on the route, there is a similar clip in 7.6 that was in 7.1, but with this routing, I can just use a P-wing for 7.6. This isn't the most optimal route, but it's much easier. I can use P-wing here and just fly over the wall, not needing to do the clip through the wall. And then we are going to 7.8, another tough level to do fast. And from this level we are getting the hammer suit, which helps us in the end game. We're going to through the pipe, trying to maintain the P-speed here. Looking good. Doing some small jumps here, throwing the hammers and go through. And now I'm trying to keep the hammer suit all the way to the end. I cannot get another one anywhere, so I'm playing 7-9 here, which there's a possibility to use a cloud on this one, but I'm trying to get the clips here. This is a risky thing to do, but just trying to show the clips. I got second try first one. Let's see, hopefully I can get it soon enough. Alright, that's fine. Could have been better, but could have been much worse as well. And the next level is probably one of the most difficult ones. It's the fort. So I'm going to use the music box there and trying to kill lots of enemies with the hammers. Build the P-speed here. And going through the pipe. Oops, I missed one of the dry bones. Ah. Alright. That's good. A lot of stuff can go wrong in that level, so I'm happy I got through it. That was pretty clean. The hammer throws are pretty difficult to... it's pretty difficult to get the hammer throws on the spot. Like, you can see that they're flying like that, so it's pretty tough to aim with these. So it needs a lot of practice to be able to kill all the plants in the previous level. And we are going to use the hammers in World 8 as well to kill some enemies. But the weird thing is you cannot kill the Koopalings with hammers. So I have to stomp kill Ludwig here in the end of this airship. For some reason they don't do any damage to Koopalings. The hammers. You can kill almost everything in this game with the hammers, but not Koopalings. You can even kill Bowser with hammers, which I'm hoping that I can do. But I just need to keep the suit until Bowser fight, so I cannot take any damage anymore, or else I have to change the routing again a bit to get Fire Flower and kill Bowser with Fireballs, but let's hope that it doesn't happen and I can show the hammer kill. So we are approaching World 8, which is the last one. After stomping this guy 3 times. Oh no, I missed it. This is something called... This is a really hard trick. Let's see. I think I missed it. Yeah. If I got the wall jump and jumped a tiny bit later, so that I would have grabbed the wand off screen, it would have skipped the animation that Mario falls down and saved like 3 seconds. That's like the most precise trick in the whole game, and I missed it by 1 frame, so that's a shame. So it's faster to grab the wand on the ground. So we don't want to jump to it. But if I can jump to it really high and so that Mario is off screen when grabbing it. How the NES works is that when you are on top of the screen, the NES actually thinks that you are on bottom of the screen. Like the bottom and the top part of the screen are the same. So it would be really fast to grab it as high as possible. But I just missed it by probably like 1 pixel. But yeah, so World 8, there is 4 auto-scroller levels in World 8, so this is gonna take a while, but after the first 2 of them, we are approaching the hands, which is the worst part of the game. So I've mentioned that there are a lot of RNG factors in this game, and the biggest one is yet to come, which is the hands. So we need to go past the 3 tiles, well, 5 tiles, which 3 of them has the hand trap levels. And we are hoping to skip all of them. They are 50-50. Whenever I step on a tile with a hand level, there's a 50-50 chance that the hand grabs me or not. And every one of the hand levels is around 20 seconds. So if I can skip all of them, I can just go straight to the next level. But the worst case scenario is that all of the hands grab me and I have to play 3 extra levels, which loses over a minute. And since the hand traps are like all the way to the end of the game, it's really annoying to get the record pace runs up to this point, and then if I only get 1 hand, that already ruins it, since it's so tight time-wise to get the record. And so there's only 1 in 8 chance to get through all of the hands. So runners end up getting the World 8 dozens of times without having a chance to PB because of the hands. And then after the hands there are still some tough levels. So let's see what happens. I'm going to throw a hammer here, fast kill the boom boom, and next is the hand levels. So I'm hoping to get no hands, but let's see. Oh, only 1. That's lucky. Not the best, but could have been a lot worse. So I'm only losing like 22 seconds now. And now the hardest auto-scroller in the game. Probably for everyone who played this game as a kid, this has been the most difficult level of the whole game. And probably many of us have used P-Wings for this and just fly over it. The scrolling speed is much faster than any of the other auto-scrollers. And then there's the flames and the rocky wrenches, throwing all the wrenches everywhere. Have to be really careful here. Oh no, that sounds awful. I can already tell that I'm not going to PB. It's not possible anymore at this point. So we're going to play 2 levels here. We still have 1 cloud, so we can just skip one of these. Which is the fourth. The fortress level is one of the longer ones in the whole game, so I'm just going to use the cloud there. And this is the the second level, which has the angry sun, which can be a little bit scary, but I'm trying to throw a hammer here. Oh, I missed it. Trying to hit it again here. You can just kill the sun with hammers. And now I'm going to use the cloud to go through this to the last pipe, and there is one more auto-scroller and then Bowser Castle. And even though this is the last one, this is probably the easiest one. I can just stay here on the right side of the screen. To avoid everything. Be a little bit careful with these enemies. Just throwing some hammers. And then I can just stay on the edge of the screen again and just jump over everything. Don't mention it, Topi. Right, one more boom boom, one hammer here. Then we are on to the last level, Bowser Castle. So my PB is 50 minutes and 40 seconds, so I'm gonna miss it by like 2 minutes. Which I would say it's pretty good for a no reset run because of all the RNG factors. And one last room before Bowser is here. Oh no. Losing a bit of time here, but it's fine. Avoiding the fireballs, and then a really hard boss fight here with Bowser, throwing 2 hammers and he's dead. And that's it for Mario 3. We are just going to wait until the door opens and we are going to see Princess Peach with a time of 52:45. That's an okay time, I would say. That's a pretty solid run. Nothing major happened. Some little mistakes here and there, and not the perfect RNG, obviously. But that's it for Mario 3 Warpless. There are other categories which are shorter and longer ones than this, so this is the main one, or the most popular one. It lasts about 50 minutes to 1 hour, so yeah, that's it for Mario. And I don't remember what we're going to see next, but thank you for having me, Ahmad, here in the stream. My name is Sakaali, and I'm usually streaming these speedruns and some casual NES gaming as well. Usually speaking Finnish in my streams, but feel free to come in and say hi in English as well. I'm always trying to respond to English speaking people as well. So yeah, that's about it from me, and let's enjoy the last day of the marathon, and we're going to see some amazing runs still after this one. Thank you for having me.